College football week 10, the biggest games this Saturday, November the 1st. Hey, November is here. This is the heart of the college football season. I'm going to break down your top 25 matchups, all three of them, plus a bonus fourth game, free plays with analysis coming up right here, right now. Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV. And I'm actually loading this video up on Friday, Halloween, and I forgot to wear the scary baseball ghost shirt when I did my Friday college football video. I, of course, did show you the hockey mask, though. So we're talking a little baseball, a little hockey, but hey, this is football season, and this is America's sport. Woo! Hey, if you're joining us still on Halloween Friday, let me know what you did for Halloween. What was your costume? What's your favorite costume ever? If you're joining us on Saturday, happy November. The 1st November is here this Saturday, and it is week 10 of the college football season. And of course, this is my weekly top 25 video. If you're finding it useful, thumbs up, like, and a positive comment below, because I read the comments and I reply back. All right, I'm going to give you your three head-to-head top 25 matchups, and then a bonus fourth game in which a couple teams are just outside the top 25. Winner will probably be ranked next week. But let's start with some of the biggest games this week in college football. You don't have to wait early for a good one in the SEC, or you don't have to wait long, rather, for an early kickoff at noon Eastern on ABC. Number 9, Vanderbilt, at number 20, Texas. Who would have thought Vanderbilt would be 11 spots higher than Texas? Don't forget, Texas, when the season started, was the number one team in the country. They went into Ohio State and lost. And Arch Manning has not looked like the prodigy he was expected to be. You know, it always sat strange with me the last 2 years that he was willing to sit behind Ewers and others and not be the spotlight guy until his third season. Now I'm starting to think, well, it makes more sense. Maybe he's just not that great. He's questionable with a concussion this week, and I'm not sure it's going to matter. I think there's not a huge drop-off. Matthew Caldwell's only thrown 11 passes this year, but he has a higher QB rating. 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Manning's been okay. 15 TDs, 6 picks, 7.6 yards per pass. Caldwell, 7.7. He's appeared in 5 games. He's only thrown like 1 or 2 passes in every one of them except the Sam Houston game. And what's interesting is that Sam Houston game was Arch Manning's worst game of the season. So I don't think there's a huge drop-off if Manning doesn't play. He is listed as questionable with concussion as we head into Friday. We'll keep an eye on this. And it's currently sitting on that very key number of 2.5 to -3. And of course, with a fairly low total in this game, around 46, 47, there's about a 9 to 10% chance that Texas wins this game by exactly a field goal. So if you like the Longhorns, lay the 2.5 sooner than later. If you like Vandy, wait, as there's a lot of +3s available out there. Let's look at my 10,000 game simulation. If you're new to my videos, I run 10,000 simulations, a lot of different metrics for every FBS game each week, and we get an average victory, which is a good starting point, kind of like basically a projection of power rating. And then what I do with that is I try to find situational aspects of the game if it agrees or disagrees. Well, my simulation does favor Texas in this game by 5 points. Once again, a 5-point Texas win on average. And the one thing that jumps out, I also do a offensive and defensive matrix chart. And Texas is obviously the much better defensive team. In fact, I rank them as the 3rd best defense in the country. Vanderbilt only 32nd. But a big offensive edge for Vandy, 12th versus 53 for Texas. So here's a classic example. Better offense versus better defense. And now in the modern era, the defenses don't always win out like they used to back in the 90s when I started. But I do think this is a situation where I'd rather have the better defensive team. And we do get some line value at -3 or less, especially at -2.5, which are still available out there. Regardless of who the quarterback is, I'll take the better defensive team at home in Texas in a big straight-up win situation. And also I'll point out, could be a little bit of a flat spot for Vanderbilt. They had that tough loss at Alabama. That was a high-profile game. And then back-to-back home wins against LSU and Missouri the last 2 weeks. Now they're traveling to Texas. This could be a difficult scheduling spot. I think the spot favors Texas at home, and we get some line value as well with the Longhorns. That's an early kickoff at noon Eastern Saturday on ABC. All right, let's look at your next top 25 matchup. This one is at 7:30 Eastern, also on ABC National TV Saturday night. Another SEC matchup. Number 18, Oklahoma, at number 14, Tennessee. Two teams that probably thought they could be top 10 this time of year, and Oklahoma, of course, was until their loss against Mississippi last week, and that was not a good showing by the Sooners. And John Mateer's been back under center now for 3 games. He, of course, had that terrible game against Texas in his return in mid-October. 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. He was the Heisman favorite before he got injured in late September. He's been pretty mediocre since. He averaged 5.3 yards per pass against Texas, just 5.8 yards per pass at South Carolina. Last week, a little bit better against Ole Miss, 7.2 yards per pass, but just 55% completions. He's been very mediocre, and this Oklahoma offense has been pretty mediocre as well this season. This is another one of those games in which we get a better offense against a better defense. This situation, though, my simulation favors the better offense as it projects over a 4-point win for Tennessee on average. And currently, as we check the odds logic screen, the WagerTalk live odds screen, you'll see that Tennessee heading into Friday is only about a 2.5 to 3-point favorite. So another game which is sitting on that key number. If you like Tennessee, lay the 2.5. If you like Oklahoma, wait, as there are some +3s starting to show. My simulation favors over a 4-point win, so at 2.5 or less, I would lean Tennessee in this one with the more explosive offense. And in this situation, the total is about 8 points higher. It's at 55.5, 55. So about an 8 to 9% chance Tennessee wins by exactly 3 points. So that 2.5 to 3, I know I say it every week, but we have a lot of new viewers here, a lot of new people to sports betting. It is so critical that you shop around for line value, especially in football, where not all numbers are equal. 3, 7, 10. A lot of chances that the games land on those numbers, so there's a huge difference getting 2.5 versus 3. And in both these first two games I've discussed, both are widely available at major sports books. It shows the importance of having numerous accounts and shopping around for line value. And by the way, if you're new to sports betting, never hesitate to ask a question below. I've been doing this for 29 years. This is my 30th football season. I started in August of 1996 as a full-time professional sports bettor and handicapper. I've been doing it even longer than that, obviously, but I've been a full-time professional now for 29 years. I never mind answering questions. And don't forget, if you have a question, there's a good chance that one of the other 10 or 20,000 viewers to this video has the same question as well. So never fear asking away, even if you're a beginner to sports betting. I'd lean Tennessee here at -2.5 or less as I project a 4.5-point win for the Volunteers. And one thing I'll point out about Oklahoma, I talked about how Mateer's been a little bit of a disappointment. Of course, he's been injured this year as well. But you look at their numbers on the season, very mediocre offensively. They're averaging just 5.5 yards per play against teams that allow 5.3. Tennessee's allowing 5.4, but the Vols average 7 yards per play. Yes, Oklahoma has a much stronger defense than the average team they've played, but I think the offensive edge for Tennessee is a little bit bigger in this game. That's at 7:30 Eastern, also on ABC National TV. All right, your third and final true top 25 matchup, then I'm going to get to a bonus game as well, is number 17 Cincinnati at number 24 Utah. The Utes hanging on in the top 25 there. This game, by the way, is a late night game, 10:15 Eastern on ESPN, so a little late night action for you here in a high-profile top 25 matchup, Cincinnati at Utah. And on the surface, might not be much of a matchup, as the Utes are a pretty big favorite this week, currently a 10-point favorite across the board, and that's because their starting quarterback has been upgraded to probable. Devian Dampier, what is it, an ankle injury, I believe. He's been in or out the last few weeks, questionable at times. He has been upgraded to probable heading into Friday, so he's expected to play Saturday night. He's been the majority of their offense at quarterback this year. Backup, Bird Fricklin, I believe, is the backup. 19 for 31. Solid 9 yards per pass this year. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Dampier's been pretty good as well. 69% completions, just over 7 yards a pass, 13 touchdowns, 4 picks. He is expected to go in this game, and that's one of the reasons we've seen this line climb several points higher this week. It opened as low as 7. Now it's up to -10. So they're pricing that quarterback worth almost a full field goal. And my 10,000 game simulation agrees with this one, with the line move at least, as it favors Utah by almost 15 points on average. I've got Utah winning by almost 15 points on average. And once again, both teams top 25 offense in my rankings, but a big defensive edge for Utah. I rank them as a top 10 defense. Cincinnati barely in the top 40. And the numbers show that this year, as the Bearcats have moved the ball with success. They've been pretty good moving the ball this season, averaging over almost 7.5 yards per play, 38 points a game. But a substantial step up in class now against a Utes defense that's given up just 14 points a game and just 4.5 yards per play. And Utah has a powerful rushing attack. They run the ball 44 times a game for over 267 yards on average. Average over 6 yards per carry. An incredibly good number. Now, Cincinnati's averaging almost 6 yards per carry. And both teams have decent rush defenses, but not great rush defenses. So I do think Utah holds the edge in this one. And with the quarterback healthy and two teams that should be able to run the ball, the total has actually dropped a bit, surprisingly, from 56.5 down to 55, 54.5. I think both teams will have success moving the ball, but if they're running the ball, that keeps the clock moving. It takes away some big plays. So while I like the rushing attacks for both teams, we might not get up and over just because the clock will keep moving. And we've actually seen a little bit of the sharp money coming on the under in this game, although I do think both offenses have the edge. The biggest edge, though, I see in this game is the Utah defense. and that's why my simulation has them winning by about 15 on average. So there's definitely some value with the Utes if the line remains at 10 or less. Minus 10, hey, once again, a very key number, about a 4 to 5% chance the Utes win by exactly 10 in this game, and I would lean that way as I project a 15-point win with Devin Dampier back at quarterback this week. All right, let's get to one bonus game for you real quick. I gave you the 3 top 25 matchups. I always like to dig a little bit deeper, games that were just a bit outside for making the cut. I'll get to that bonus game here in a moment. Quick reminder, if you're liking these videos, all I ask is a thumbs up like. It takes 2 seconds. Click it. Thank you so much. And hey, if you have a couple more minutes, drop a comment below. It can be a quick positive comment. Hey, I'm liking the videos. Let me know. But also, if you want to dive deeper, what are your thoughts on these top 25 matchups? Which games do you like, sides or totals? What other games do you like for this Saturday, November the 1st? Week 10 is here in college football. Include some analysis if you have time. Let's learn and earn and win together here on WagerTalk TV. And don't forget, click subscribe and click that bell for an instant alert so you know when these free play videos go up each and every week. I do a lot of the weeknight national TV games. I always give you the Thursday night prime game in the NFL, Sunday and Monday night football. And don't forget, we're speaking about the NFL. I'm number 1 in NFL units won over the past 365 days. And also, the NFL Fade the Public video is crushing it this year. 5-1 last week, fading the public on Sunday. And it's over 60% for the season. That's free every week here on the channel as well. Click the bell when you subscribe here to WagerTalk TV and never miss out. All right, let's get to that bonus game for you. Number 26, Navy. Now, I'm looking at the additional votes in the AP poll. Navy's the first team on the outside looking in. So if they pull the upset at North Texas, they will be ranked next week. North Texas clocking in at number 34. Not sure they can get back into the rankings even with a win here. And they are the expected winner of this game. If you look at just the point spread, at least from the odds makers' perspective, they're almost a touchdown favorite in this one. North Texas currently 6.5 in some spots, 7 in others. Hey, once again, all 4 of these games on key numbers. I know I sound like a broken record, but I want to harbor this point as much as I can. Lay 6.5 with North Texas. Take +7 with Navy, depending on where you can shop around. Let's start with my simulation. 10,000 game simulation on average has North Texas winning by 10, over 10 points. But I'm hesitant on that because Navy runs the ball so extremely well. And North Texas has only faced one triple option team this year, and that was at West Point. Now, they did win and cover. They were about a field goal road favorite, and they won by 7. But they did allow Navy to run for Army to run for 387 yards. So while I project a 10-point win and the line is only 6.5 or 7, makes me a little hesitant as I think Navy can trade points in this. I'm going to look at the total instead. I like the up and over in this game for a few reasons between Navy and North Texas. First of all, the over-under this game is currently sitting around 65.5. One of the biggest totals on the board, but for good reason. North Texas games overall are averaging 70 points per game this season, and it's not a fluke. Third year under head coach Eric Morris. Last year, his second year there, their games averaged 68 points. His first year in 2023, their games averaged 72 total points. So 72, 68, and 70 this year, the 3 years under head coach Eric Morris. Now, he has struggled a bit against option teams. Last year against Army, they only scored 3 points, but then this year they scored 45. So it looks like they made the correction. They only gave up 14, by the way, in that loss last year. And then the year before, his first season, they did play Navy on the road. They lost 27-24, but they were a 6.5-point dog in that game. This team is better this year, but I'm a little concerned about what could be a very suspect North Texas rush defense against that Navy triple option attack. North Texas gives up almost 5 yards per rush this season. Navy's averaging 6.5 yards per carry. Just incredible numbers. And they don't throw the ball much, but when they do, very effective. 11 yards per pass. They only do it 14 times a game. Overall, Navy's averaging 7.6 yards per play this season, and North Texas is averaging over 7 yards per play. These teams average 37 and 46 points. Let's not overthink it. No pun intended, actually pun intended. Over 65.5 makes a lot of sense. I think both offenses will control this game. And as far as my offensive and defensive ratings, I rank them both top 20 in the nation offensively, and neither one is even in the top 70 defensively. Huge offensive edges for both teams. I like the over 65.5 between Navy and North Texas. A little added top 25, top 40 action for you on Saturday. By the way, that game is at 12 noon Eastern. That's an early game on ESPN2. The Deuce! North Texas and Navy up and over. All right, there you go. The 4 biggest college football games ranking-wise for this Saturday, November the 1st. What are your thoughts once again? Comment below. Let me know which sides you like, what totals you like, what else you're playing this weekend. Drop some analysis, thumbs up, like, and also subscribe and click that bell. And don't forget, if you want my personal best bets, now sometimes these games make my card. A lot of times they're just light TV leans. I always try to give you leans on these these spotlight games, high-ranked games. And if I like them strong enough for my clients, I send it to them as well. But, if you're playing these TV leans, these light opinions, 1% of bankroll is appropriate. But when you play my best bets, they're rated as 4% plays. So obviously they're stronger, and they're the games that I've won consistently with now for 29 years as a full-time professional. And it's quite simple. If I have a game, if I'm using a play, every client gets it. Doesn't matter if you have a 1 day, a 1 week, a 1 month, or a 1 year subscription. And right now is a great time to get on board an All Sport All Access Pass, because not only do you have college and pro football going every day, the NBA is here. College hoops starts this Monday, less than a week away. You get 4 major sports all at once right here in November. So it's a great time to get on board. Now, if you want to try a 7-day sampler, it's just $99. No promo code needed. 7 days and nights for just $99. Or how about a 30-day package for just $100 more? Well, that's a great offer, but you got to have a promo code for that one. 30 days all sports, just $199 with promo code SM199. This is an instant $100 discount. It's normally $299 for a 30-day, but at checkout, if you use promo code SM199, you get 30 days of all sports for just $199. That's every college and pro football and basketball best bet each and every day. Or if you've been with me over this past month, we had over 65% this past month, just crushing it with all sports best bets. Now's the time to upgrade, or if you're ready to take a serious investment approach, now's a great time as well, because the college hoop season is starting, the NBA just begun, and the baseball season just finished, which means you get all of next year's baseball with a 365-day all-sport, all-access. You're going to get all of this year's college basketball, all of next year's baseball, basically all of this year's NBA. You only missed a handful of games, and the rest of college and pro football through the first half of next year. 1 year all-sport, all-access with an instant $500 discount and a bonus 25% coupon included. No promo code needed. It's on my main page right now. With that $500 discount, you're getting it down to about $1 a play for every college and pro football, basketball, and baseball best bet for the next 365 days and nights. And by the way, that is a true 365 days, because if we ever pass, like I did this Thursday when it was a small card, I never force anything. I'm not doing this for action. I'm doing it to make money. I only play strong selections, only strong plays. So when we pass occasionally, you get an extra day added to your subscription. So you get a true 365 days of all sports best bets. And with that instant $500 discount, it works out to about $1 a play over the next year. Check it out right now. No promo code needed for the big boy package. By the way, it's on the main page right above the daily free play. And yes, I put a bonus free play up each and every day. Over the past 3 weeks, they've hit over 75% on the free plays. And those are last cuts from my best bets, which have been red hot as well. We are clicking on all cylinders as we head into November. What a great time of the year to be red hot. Check out the free play. But more importantly, check out the best bets and the special offers. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. And hey, get there quicker with shortcut wt.buzz/SM. On the way out, don't forget to follow me on social media on X and Instagram at Steve Merril, 2 R's, 1 L, Merril, at Steve Merril on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to WagerTalk TV, because there's more free play videos, including a lot of NFL games, coming up next.